Hi, my name is Tim Hines, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about heartfelt leadership in times like these. I've been in the business a while, and as I think of heartfelt leadership and I think of my career and my success, I think a lot of it has to do with some of the strategies I picked up through the years, and I wanted to share those with you today. You know, I love this quote, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I believe there's some psychology behind that. Is when you run into people that you like to be around, that people say, "Oh man, they send off good endorphins," or whatever it is. That's true. People that if you can make people feel good about themselves, they'll never forget you. But in heartfelt leadership, I'm going to challenge you as to why you do that and to do that with sincerity. Let me go to the next one here really quick. The next slide, great leaders are always people of vision and purpose. This is a quote by Dr. Timothy Judge, who was a partner of ours at Staymetrics for many years. And, Tim has studied leadership for 30 years. And when he looked at the best leaders in business and politics in the world, it was always people that had not only a vision, but they had a purpose that was past them. And then these are some things that I believe, that leaders who know how to emotionally connect with individuals and groups understand the power they hold. Great leaders use this power to not only advance the mission of the organization, but this is the key part, but most important, they use this power to advance the careers of those entrusted to them. Now, this is really unorthodox, because what you're talking about is when you're leading with heartfelt leadership, you're not looking just at the organization. I would tell you that most of the time I look at the individual, and I want to look at what their potential is and how I can help them reach their whole potential with or without me. And that's key. So what is heartfelt leadership? I believe it's managing from the heart, but it's leading through the soul. And then for me, how I think about this is what's expected of me as the steward of people's lives, as a steward of people's lives. That might sound to you like it's, you're not the steward of people's lives, Tim, but am I or am I not? If I have somebody that chooses to work for me for 20 to 30 years of their career, am I not one of the people responsible for the success of them and their family? I am. And I take that very seriously. And then the next one is strategically putting the needs of your employees at the same level as your customers, and that is of you as the owner. Is heartfelt leadership, you have no affinity to your own needs having to be met first, the organization's needs having to be met first, or the needs of your customers having to be met first. Obviously, you're going to run an operation that runs on time, that's safe. But let's be honest, everybody does that, right? But what you have to do is start to look at your organization, and you want to look at what the needs of your employees are. Now, let's see. This next slide is going to allow me to talk about talent. Why heartfelt leadership gives you talent for life. When you do this, when people come to work for you and they understand that you have an interest in them as a human being and you want to see them win, and them winning can be with or without you, that's the differentiator, right? It's a game changer. And people will not leave an environment, I call it of love, without second and third thoughts. And the reason for that is so there's really nowhere else for them to go in the market if they like that. So if they like working for a company where on a semi-annual basis, if not, I would say quarterly basis, people are asking the employees, how are we doing for you? How are you doing? How's your family doing? What are your career goals, and how can I help you get there? If you're doing that, that is so unorthodox that really people are going to stay with you. You'll lose some, but very few. But people are going to stay with you because of that. Now, if they get frustrated with you, which they will at times, because you're not going to be perfect, you're going to make mistakes, and your organizations are going to make mistakes. They're not going to quickly leave you for a couple reasons. One is you've built so much goodwill that the goodwill that you built is probably going to compensate for the mistake you made. And the second is, the reality is, if you do practice this, it's so rare and they like it that there's nowhere else for them to really go easily. So I like it. The other thing that this does is it's so rare that it's talked about often by our employees to other employees, and guess who? Other prospective employees. This has been kind of, this was my secret sauce in my 40s when I was building some air freight forwarding companies and some brokerage companies. I was able to get basically whatever talent I wanted in the market because my employees were going out in the market and telling people about the environment that we had built. And our phone would ring from people that, hey, I want to be part of something like this. So, it gives you talent for life. And I think it's a super smart move. Next slide. The benefits of being a lifelong heartfelt leader. This is cool. It's watching the many people you coach and mentor improve their lives. It's fulfilling. And who doesn't love being fulfilled? But when when you can reflect back, as I do it now, and I can think of people that I hired that grew with the company. I can think of people that I hired that left the company, competed against me. And I think of where these people are at today in the growth that they've had, and the teams that they've built, and the people that they've employed, and they still come out to the farm and visit with me, have lunch out here. It's a very fulfilling thing, and it's much more than just having a career in building a company. It's really it's helping people build their lives. The next bullet item is your turnover is next to nothing, and it absolutely is. It's when you practice heartfelt leadership, and you're intimate and in the needs of your employees and their teammates, and they truly understand that you're interested in their best interest, and you're career pathing them as fast as you can. Quite honestly, your turnover is going to be intentional turnover or planned turnover. The differentiator gets you the talent that is tired of the old model. I spoke to that a little bit ago. Again, what you're doing is you're creating a culture where people aren't just employees. People are part of your organization. They're part of your team that is constantly in a growth mode, and that is so rare that that you get talent that I call it as tired of the old model. The old model where you just gotta, I just gotta do my job. I gotta shut up. I gotta toe the line. That's where people are only living like a half of their life. And when you can create an environment where they can live their whole life, what's that mean? That means where they don't have to be inhibited, and they can bring all their talents to the table. And there's very little politics, if any, involved in the organization. That differentiator gets known in the market and actually becomes a draw. I've had it happen several times. And obviously, the more engaged workforce, the more care you show, the more it's reciprocated. We see this constantly with our clients. We see it in the data. But a more engaged workforce is going to be more productive, and you're going to have less turnover. The more care you show, meaning if you want to do this, it's almost a game of, can I beat what I did last time? You want to wow them. You want to have them at the kitchen table saying, you're not going to believe what the company did for my teammate, or you're not going to believe what the company just did for me. The more care you show, the more you're going to see more engaged employees more engaged employees and less turnover. And it was a Gallup poll that just came out within the last year. Don't quote me on the numbers. You're going to have to go peek at them yourself, but I'm going to say I'm within 5 points, that only 32% of U.S. labor right now is engaged in the workforce, engaged working for the company. Well, what are the other ones doing? I don't know. Maybe I'll go get a glass of tea. I don't know. Maybe I'll wash the car because I'm working remote today. But when you actually show that you care about them and you want them to grow as an individual, you find that, guess what? They somehow work harder for you, and that's real. I've seen that. And then, hey, people invite you to do presentations such as these, so that's quite a benefit. How we did it at Stay Metrics. Now, we put it first as our primary mission statement. So in other words, the first thing that we said at Stay Metrics is we're passionately putting people first. That was our goal. So we were able to point to that early and often as a guiding principle. And then, and actually, when we said point to it early and often as a guiding principle, that is a two-way street. That means we were able to tell people, now, how is that passionately putting people first? But I would tell you that more than half the time, that came from our employees back up to management asking the question, how is that passionately putting people first? And it would challenge the way we ran the company. And it's a fantastic way to do it. And then your next one is you're going to job coach your top talent, job coach them out of the company. And you're just like, what did he just say? Job coach your top talent out of the company? Now, I do that, but I got in smaller print right below that. It doesn't happen very often. But I do that knowing that when I'm coaching somebody, I'm not manipulating them to, hey, here's the deal. You have this talent. This is why you have to be at my company because we're the absolute best. That's a bunch of crap. That's not the truth. The truth is you're a very talented person. You've got a great career ahead of you. Right now, I believe that this is the best place for you to be. But how do we help you grow? And if you end up growing past us, it's okay. It's not only okay, but we'll help you do it. Now, this is where it goes back to earlier where I said how fulfilling it is when you do that and people go out and they grow and they build homes and their kids go to college and all these things because you help them. It's extremely rewarding. And then that's your litmus test, really, for this, is it real? If you only coach your employees to what they can do for you and your organization, then just think about that and say that back to yourself slowly, that is selfishness. That is that I care about you so long as you can continue to provide value to me. So it's an if then. And I'm not going to get into today's labor market, but in today's labor market with as much choices as they have, that's why people say, man, I can't get people to show up. I can get people to show up every day. Our people show up every day. But if you're coaching people and you're not coaching them to the point of, hey, you might have to leave us someday, or you've got better potential in this sector, not my sector. If you're not doing that, then you're not truly looking out. That's not heartfelt leadership. That is not heartfelt leadership. I'll tell you that right now. And you're not practicing heartfelt leadership. You're practicing traditional leadership. But when I say heartfelt leadership, you're looking at that individual and you're using your knowledge and your skills and your experience, and you're looking at that talent, that raw talent, and you're saying, I'm going to help you have the best life you can. And for some unknown reason, it always comes back to you with even better talent. I've never, the few I've lost, that kind of graduated out of us, I've had better talent even come right behind it. So the next thing that we did is we put in employee friendly programs and education. We did training on mental health awareness and strategies. Mental health awareness, touch base on that a little bit, is extremely key. I believe the year here I'm doing this presentation is 2021. I think we're going to see a couple of evolutions in labor. I think in the next 5 years, you're going to see profiles being built that will put people in specific jobs that match their personality and their mental makeup better. I think you're going to see that, but that's not the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is probably going to take 10 years, because mental health awareness has to really go from just awareness to education to knowledge to strategy. So when we get to that mental health knowledge and strategy standpoint, what we'll have then is, imagine you have the right people in the right seats, and imagine they're as mentally healthy as they can be. Holy cow. All the infighting, the bickering, and all that stuff is halved, if not just totally eliminated. That's where we're going to be at the end of the day. So we at Stay Metrics, now part of the 10th Street family, happy to say, we put in training on mental health awareness strategies before COVID, and that helped out significantly. We also put training on building better relationships, and that works well for home and business. Meaning, what did we do? Meaning we understood that dysfunctionality, even in our own organization, there was, not a ton of employees, but we had conflict, just like you guys have conflict. Maybe your dispatch operations and your safety operations, they don't mesh well. Well, if you as a leader know that, what are you doing about that? And if it's just you're bitching at the safety director and you're bitching at the VP of Ops to get along better, that doesn't do jack rabbit. So what do we suggest you do? We suggest you bring trainers in. There's TCA has training on this. I know that they put together on building better relationships and understanding communication styles. But really, when you put those in place, they help educate people as to how to communicate better, and that works out really, really well. And then people ask me that, what's the one thing I can practice that might make me a great heartfelt leader someday? And I'd say kindness. Every day, every moment, and to people that you normally maybe wouldn't easily gravitate to. Kindness. Show that you care, and show that you care deeply. That's going to go a long way for you. So because this is a virtual session, I thought of the Q&A, and I thought, okay, what are some of the questions that I've had in the past when I brought this up? And here's a couple I'll speak to. Is this like an employee for life entitlement program? You can only hope. You can only hope. What, is this guy crazy now? Why would I want an employee for life entitlement program? Well, if you take the word entitlement out, and if I said, is this an employee for life program, you'd get pretty excited. So let's leave the entitlement in there, right? And let's think of you, if you did this right, that you actually have deep care and consideration for everybody on your team, and that you are providing well for your team with the profits from the organization. And you are seeing families do things that they never thought that they could, because the organization you built allowed that. And then you are going to people's graduations, and you're going to their weddings, and you're going to functions that they were able to support and do because of your organization. That's the good stuff. So it's not an entitlement program, it's a way of life. Can you make any money doing this? You're going to make tons of money. you're going to make better money than your peers. It happens all the time. When I run into a heartfelt leader and we start talking, we don't say, hey, you're a heartfelt leader. Oh, you're a heartfelt leader. You can just kind of tell the way people talk about their employees. Do they talk about them in an endearing method, or damn drivers? But so when I run across guys that man, I could tell you're a heartfelt leader, and we're in our second, third hour of conversation, and then I'm like, man, you have got it. You have low turnover. Your employees love you. You're able to get talent. I say, it's just a shame it's not profitable. They kind of normally look at me and say, what? I outperform my peers by 50% on a net income basis. Oh, I said, I was joking. I know that. So it's very, very profitable. And then, can I just decide to be a heartfelt leader? This is a short question. I've got a long answer for. With some long periods of soul searching. And the soul searching has to be as to why am I not a heartfelt leader? But the easier question is why don't I care? The challenge that you should ask yourself is, if I only care about people that can put money or perks or something in my pocket, then that's not love. That's not love. But if I care about people to the point that I truly want to use my resources to see if I can't help them have a little bit better experience on this thing we call Earth while we're here, then I want to do that. Now, I have people in my life, that I have to challenge myself with as to why don't I care about that person? And it's usually further down the line. They're just too far down the line. I'm too disconnected. No. You just didn't care enough to engage them. And when I challenge myself to that, to be a better leader, to be a better heartfelt leader, to put my money where my mouth is, and to actually go out and build a relationship with those people, that's the process, I think, of becoming a heartfelt leader. While I said on the last slide, you can practice kindness to get started. But then if you want to grow, challenge yourself as to, how come I only practice kindness to specific people? And when you get past that and you challenge yourself to be kind and generous to everybody, then I think you're on the right road. So again, my name is Tim Hines. I'm the former CEO and co-founder of Staymetrics, now part of the 10th Street family. Happy to be here. I thank you for the opportunity to present today. I thank you thank the TCA for allowing me to present this, and I hope you found value in it.